Hello guys, this is Shashwat and this is my channel Goal King. Just wanted to talk about yesterday's game, Chelsea versus Man City. A huge game for Chelsea as well as for Man City, and Man City just ripped them apart, just tore them apart. And just a month and a half ago, Chelsea were in the title challenge. They were top of the table, I think 29 days, 30 days maybe. And everyone was just singing praises for them, that how good they were playing, how good they were clicking, how good they were defensively, how good their attack was looking, and they weren't conceding. And the way that they beat Leeds, everyone was convinced that they are a real deal, right? But again, everything is falling apart. Everything that Frank Lampard just built that time, and when he's caught out that what he wants to do, everything is seemingly falling apart. And the biggest thing that I feel about Frank Lampard's team is that there's lack of character in that team, man. There's lack of character. The way that they conceded that first goal, right? It was a individual brilliance from Ilkay Gundogan, right? But no one closed him down. Thiago Silva was a yard or two left out, and that's why Ilkay Gundogan got space to shoot. And what a goal! But before that, what a turn by him, and what a play from City. But for the first 15 minutes, City even didn't look mint, right? They even didn't look like an extraordinary footballing team. They were finding their feet, right? But after those 15 minutes, for the next 30 minutes, they taught Chelsea a lesson what it's like to be a real deal. Because Chelsea at Stamford Bridge tried to play City their game and were torn apart by City. Now, the biggest thing that I can't understand is why Timo Werner is playing through the middle. I wanted Olivier Giroud through the middle. I know that he thought that maybe Timo could run in behind. Maybe he could get at defenders by running at them. Since John Stones, Ruben Diaz, they have average pace, not deadly fast. But still, why not Giroud? Because he's been the one who's been at excellent goal scoring form for Chelsea. Neither Tammy nor Timo has been that, but Giroud. And why didn't he play? But let that be apart, right? Hakim Ziyech, I think, was rushed into the team. Because, okay, he came in the first 10 minutes, he was okay, right? He was putting crosses, okay, it was a bit misplaced, but he was trying to do that. But the biggest thing was why was he rushed? Why isn't Callum Hudson-Odoi given a chance, right? But just let that be apart. Credit to Manchester City because they played Chelsea off the park. And Chelsea, I mean, they had no answers to whatever City did. Whatever City did, because that first chance when Kevin De Bruyne missed, right? It felt like it is one of those days where they don't have a real striker and they are going to struggle for goals, right? But then that individual brilliance from Gundogan, and then that second goal from Phil Foden, right? What the presence of mind to just sneak it past in the near post. And I think Mendy could have done better on that goal. But still, what a finish. What a finish and what an instinct by Phil Foden. And one thing that I would like to say is that guy is just sheer brilliance, because whenever he doesn't play regularly in the Premier League, in the cup competitions, even in the Champions League, he was a regular, but not in the Premier League. And if he goes on to play regularly, I just can't think how good he can be, because whenever he plays, he doesn't look bad. He always look good, and yesterday he was excellent in his work rate, in his uh, what his movement in the box, his link up play, everything. Yeah, in the second half, there were a moment or two where he could have done better with the cross where Pep Guardiola was just frustrated. But he's still 20. We have to remember that too. And England have a lot of young talents in Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Mason Greenwood coming through. And if they can gather these talents for the Euros with a bit of experience of Harry Kane, of maybe Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier in the team, or maybe in the midfield, like some player like Jack Grealish. They have a real deal in Euros. But talking about England right now, I don't want to go into that. But coming on to Chelsea, right? Frank Lampard's team were getting destroyed, right? And I thought Chelsea will go after City because they had a new goalkeeper. They didn't have a real striker. But actually, not having a real striker was a boon for City because Thiago Silva and Kurt Zuma didn't know whom they should mark. There was lot of movement. I mean, lots and lots of movement from Phil Foden, from Sterling, from KDB, and Ilkay Gundogan, who was, by the way, number 10, and Bernardo Silva was dropping in that midfield with Rodri to help. And Bernardo Silva, that work rate. Whenever Cancelo in the first half was going into the midfield, he was like an inverted fullback. And Bernardo Silva was coming at right back to help out if there were any attacks from Christian Pulisic from the left side. And Ruben Diaz and Stones, they just pocketed Timo Werner. And Ziyech couldn't do anything because Zinchenko and Foden were on him. And look, Reece James is a very good attacking fullback and he was absent. But still, Aspilicueta is not a bad fullback. He's decent enough. But he didn't get a sniff. And Ben Chilwell was not getting spaces. I mean, they in that first half, that was the best City performance. In fact, the best performance by a Big Six team against a Big Six team after Tottenham's performance against Manchester United, right? And that was a sheer masterclass. That tactical brilliance of Pep Guardiola yesterday was a sheer masterclass. In the first half, running on at Chilwell by Raheem Sterling, that worked pretty well. And that exposed them. That exposed Chelsea to every extent. And the biggest thing that I think that should have been is why didn't Frank Lampard see that Man City are ripping them apart, right? So after conceding 2 goals, why did they commit for the first goal to score? And N'Golo Kante, who I don't understand what has happened to him in the past few weeks, he passed in that City block when there was a free kick, and just Kevin De Bruyne took that, intercepted that pass, and there was a header, and Raheem Sterling was one on one. And then on one, Raheem Sterling did poorly because he didn't even lay a shot. But when he laid, it was off the post, and Kevin De Bruyne was there, and he put it back in the net. But how could you give such space? And credit to Raheem Sterling, he closed Kante down so quickly that he was pressurized and he didn't see a pass just beside him that could have been done and he might not have lost the ball, right? But he instead played it in the City's hands. Kevin De Bruyne with a fabulous header to just release Sterling, and he was one on one. He did poorly, I accept that. But what a goal! I mean, what a goal! I mean, its build-up was good. And Raheem Sterling missed that chance, I thought. But still, he hit a good shot to get it off the post. And that instinct from De Bruyne to run past. And no one was even marking him when he ran. And he was the first player to receive that ball. How could that happen? I mean, Frank Lampard's team weren't reacting to whatever City were doing, right? And they were shell-shocked. They were just torn apart. They didn't understand what was happening to them. It was like a men versus boys, right? It was a championship winning team playing against youngsters who don't have that experience and against a young manager who don't know how to react, right? And Frank Lampard's job is in real danger because they have been in awful form, right? They, I think, had one win in 6-7 Premier League games, and that too against West Ham, which I don't think they deserved to win, right? But they were extremely lucky. And City had a depleted squad. They didn't have a real striker on the field. They didn't have their best goalkeeper on the field. They didn't have a natural left back on the field, which they don't have actually. And yet, they tore apart Chelsea. And they just torn them apart. And in the second half, they just controlled the game because Chelsea did nothing apart from the 91st minute, which Zinchenko should have done better with Callum Hudson-Odoi's run. But okay, that could be neglected because for the 90 minutes, they were just extremely brilliant. City were extremely brilliant. And credit to Pep Guardiola. That was a tactical masterclass in that first half, right? But coming on to Chelsea, they are in a real danger, right? Everyone was talking about Arsenal be fighting the relegation, and look how they have turned. And I think Frank Lampard should get time, right? But he's at Chelsea, and Roman Abramovich, the owner, doesn't give much time. And rightly so, because they have spent £250 million. And we are talking about players not settling in the Premier League. They should be firing with all cylinders. And we are talking about them settling. That's a pity. And look, Ben Chilwell has been good, but yesterday he was poor. Hakim Ziyech, I understand he has just come back from injury, so I don't expect much from him. But what about Christian Pulisic? Nothing. What about Timo Werner? I mean, there were occasions where he should have played like a centre forward and he was drifting wide, where he should have gone into the 6-yard box and he was hiding back. He can't even think what Timo Werner is doing right now. He doesn't have any confidence. Just forget about lack of confidence. He doesn't have any confidence in him. And Kai Havertz, he couldn't get his place booked in the starting 11. Never mind playing regularly. Chelsea are in a real mess, right? And not even bringing an Olivier Giroud. That's just a pity because he has been the best goal scorer they've got, right? Even after the signings. And he didn't even come on the pitch against a team, City, were just destroying them apart. And maybe Olivier Giroud could have done something more. Maybe more crosses could have helped Olivier Giroud because Timo Werner is not a good header of the ball. He was not getting into those little pockets of spaces in the box to score goals. In fact, he was afraid to go there. And credit to Ruben Dias and John Stones. They were excellent in dealing with anything that Chelsea threw. And I don't know they throw much, but whatever they had thrown at them, they did with that perfectly. And Joao Cancelo, everyone was talking about, okay, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden. Joao Cancelo, what a season he's having till now. He has been excellent for City, right? Excellent. And yesterday too, his play, his movement, his defensive qualities have improved so much. And credit to Pep Guardiola. He has improved Cancelo a lot this season. And I think it's going to be a very difficult time for Kyle Walker to make his place into this team because Cancelo is not going anywhere. If you are a City fan, Cancelo is not going anywhere. And if you are a Chelsea fan, you can't show your face after that embarrassment yesterday. And it could have been 5-6-0 in the first half only. And they were clear-cut chances, not even the chances that a shot from outside. No, clear-cut chances. Never mind. We'll look at what Chelsea are made of and if they could get out of the situation and if Frank Lampard could prove a point that he is the right man because at the moment he looks shell-shocked. He looks out of his depth. So guys, this was my analysis. If you like this video, do subscribe, do press the subscribe button and do press the like button too. And do share so that more and more football fans could know about this channel and that will be a great thing for me. Till then,